Good morning. Thank you for joining us for our Facebook Live event, Shopping the Showhomes. This is episode 2 of our series to help anyone that is shopping for their next property by visiting the Showhomes.
We want to share our experiences and knowledge and information regarding purchasing a new home from a new home builder or developer.
So if you have any questions this morning, or if you are watching this after our live event and have questions, please type them below and we will answer them as best we can.
My name is Maria Marcos. I'm a realtor with YEGPro Realty. Previously, I was with new home sales for just over 13 years, mainly as an area manager.
And my name is Johan Aceron-McLean. I'm also a licensed realtor with YEGPro Realty. I worked in the new home sales industry for almost 7 years, mostly as an area manager for a few builders. And for my last project downtown, I did work as the sales manager for one of the new condominiums.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. Today, we want to talk about location. So this would be your next step in purchasing a new home, would be to determine what location you want to be in. So whether you want to be in North, South, East, West Edmonton, or do you want to live on the surrounding areas like Sherwood Park, St. Albert, Spruce Grove, Beaumont, Leduc. So things to consider are your commute to work, schools if you have children, amenities, parks, things like that. So
yeah, and then once you discover or figure out which area of the city you want to be in, then there would be several communities within the area that you are looking for. Typically for the new homes, it's going to be around the ring road. So you've got your communities sometimes really close to each other as well. So when you're deciding, like Maria was saying, like where's the school? Do you want the kids to walk to school? Is it a proposed school and it's a school that's not coming up till a little bit? So I always suggest having clients even driving through the communities, taking walks through the communities. I've had clients bring their dogs out to see if the dogs would like the communities.
And visit during rush hour.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes. So if you're a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, if you're able to come through during those times, that is not something that you want to be a surprise after you've moved in, that the traffic is ridiculous coming in and out of the communities. And even on the weekends, just to see what the community is doing as well.
Yeah. So
yeah, after we were talking about builders after.
Builders.
So yes.
So yes, there'll be, different builders. They'll be assigned different locations. Sometimes you'll be looking at, like, let's say you've narrowed it down to one community. There might be 3 builders to choose from, and then you may walk in and you really know that this is the community that you want, but they might say, hey, we've got something really good price over this community, right? And you might want to be persuaded by that because of you might be saving some money in that sense, but we want to help you just keep in focus, like stay focused in what it is that you need and that you really want. So if that community had everything that you wanted, we want to remind you, like, hey, let's stay focused and just remember that this is, a long-term investment as well. Like, you don't just want to be saving a little bit of money and sacrificing so much.
Yes, and remembering too, sometimes when you're in talks with a specific area manager for a very specific builder, it's easy to forget that, well, maybe the next builder or the next might have something available for you. Because again, with the builders, they have essentially like their basket, and they've got specific lots or specific spec homes that they have available to you. And you might want something that they don't have available, that another builder might have it available. Just like in any time with real estate, it's location. So you don't want to be jumping over to another community again because maybe there was something else available that had a good price, and then forgetting that it isn't the community that you'd already decided on with your family.
Yeah.
So just kind of a cautionary thing.
Right.
It's easy because you get really excited with finding something, and then you potentially can get persuaded into another area that just wasn't really in your decision, what you had decided.
Yeah. And also one thing you want to consider right from the start is the time of construction.
Yes.
So if you get into a brand new development, just be aware that you're going to be living with construction.
Yes.
Could be for a couple years, could be 5 years. You just, can't really tell. Like, they can give you an estimate, but that's all up to
the market.
Yeah.
Yes. So there will be communities that sometimes you may hear about, and it's literally land and a couple of show homes, maybe even a trailer. So those communities are considered pioneering communities, and really that just means that it might be really exciting. They might have really good promotions for the land and the home, but building in a pioneering community, it is empty for a long time, and houses periodically will start getting built, but you're living in construction for a time that you might, for maybe longer than you would consider. Where if you come to a community and a lot of it's already developed and you can kind of see it forming, then there's less time of living in construction. So something to consider when you're going to the newer communities. You do get your pick of the lot, exactly probably where you want. But again, it might take a little bit of time for people to fill in the neighborhood.
And if you do need public transportation,
right,
you'll see the designated bus stops right at the beginning of the development where they're going to be located, but the time frame might just be up in the air. They need a certain amount of people living in there before they'll have a bus route in the community. So if you do need to take public transit, it's very important to purchase somewhere where you're not going to be walking 15 minutes in the winter to the nearest bus stop.
Yes, especially if you've got kids like in high school going to work, that kind of thing. It's easy to be told and be excited about, yes, we're going to get public transportation, but timing is everything. If it's not already there, then just prepare for it to potentially be out in the long term. So in that case, then maybe a community that's a little bit more developed, they would have a chance of getting that kind of bus service sooner than a community that's kind of out off the beaten path that's not going to have buses right away. One thing too, there was a community in the city. So typically newer communities, they start in the front and they've got their show homes, got all the landscaping, etc., and then they build towards the back of the community, which can be sometimes tricky because now you're living in this community and the trucks are coming through and they're bringing mud, and it's hard in the spring, it's hard in the winter. We're both new home buyers, so we've both been through that. So there is a community, and they were a little bit more thoughtful, and they actually started in the back of the community. That's the uplands. And so that was kind of a neat idea because now you're driving through, but once your community and your area is done, then they start building up to the front. So just little things like that with how are you actually going to live in this new community with construction going on. Because as much as you want to maybe complain about it, at the end of the day, you bought in a new development.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have our list of 50 questions that if you are shopping the show homes and you wanted to talk to the area managers, this list would be good to have with you. If you are interested, just leave us your email address and we can send it.
We would be better to be with you.
Yes, we can. We're a better resource, but if you also wanted to have this, some of it too would need explaining. It might not be something easily understood, but yes, we would be better off being with you and shopping. So a few of the questions that we have on here we'll share today. Are there HOA fees for the community?
So the Homeowners Association fees, that typically covers things like walkways, the boulevards, any parks, ponds, things like that, so that like depending on what kind of amenities are in the community, that will reflect what the annual HOA fee will be. Like in Summerside, you'll pay a premium because you have access to that lake. But you know, there's areas like in Cameron Heights, there's a park. You know, they're putting in a spray park and a skating rink. So that HOA fee will be around $200 a year, and that covers the maintenance of all those amenities. You know, as well as the walking trails and, you know, sidewalks and things like that.
Yes, so it is an annual fee. Most new communities have it, some do not, but just because they're not starting with it doesn't mean it's not going to come later. So those are things that the city is not necessarily responsible for. It is for like the beautification of the neighborhood as well. What future developments are planned for this community?
Like, is there going to be a school? I know they might, at the beginning, there might be a school designated area for the community, but you know, when is that going to actually start? Like, what is the plan for that school to be developed? So things can change. So just be aware that they may say, oh, in 5 years, we plan, or the city plans to have the school built, but a lot can happen in 5 years, and the budgets can change, things can change, right?
Yes.
So just to be aware of that.
Yes, so the area managers can only share the information they are given. So I've had where clients say, well, we were told that there was going to be a school, but again, things change within the province, etc. The projection of how many people will be in the area, etc., can definitely make a difference there. Has zoning been revised since the inception of the community? So that's something we are currently going through at home because we are in a newer community and there's a proposed revision for one of the zones. So that is something you really can't necessarily foresee because it depends on the needs of the community as it's going along. So essentially what that means is there's a piece of land and it was zoned for single family homes, but now a developer has come in and decided, well, we want to put commercial. So if you're a family that's decided, well, we want to be in a community without commercial, and then all of a sudden 6 years later they're putting in commercial, that is technically allowed. Empty pockets of land, it's essentially up in the air because it can be rezoned. So something that obviously like Marie and I can talk with you about and really try to figure out what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, no one's going to know exactly what will happen in the future unless it's a community that's already developed. So it's really for the little pieces of land that are empty. And then our last question, what amenities are within the community and surrounding areas? A lot of the area managers will have marketing that actually shows you this is where your grocery store is, this is where the banks are, where the gym, and how far and what proximity. Again, the newer areas, it might be within walking distance, or it could be down the road, and you need to take a drive.
Yeah, so things could change as well, right? So normally they'll designate an area for commercial, and it's just kind of like, hey, we're waiting to see who's going to come in here. Like, okay, there's a location, a space for a grocery store. We don't know which chain yet is going to buy in, and you know, at the end of the day, you won't know until it's there, right? For sure. So like Joanne said, sometimes these things can be rezoned as well. So just to be aware, like if you are buying into a brand new community and there's nothing up yet, just, you know, things to be aware of that they could change. Right? So
yeah, and one thing that new communities do as well is you will find really diverse, all the different types of products. So you might have an apartment in the same community as townhomes in the same community with single family homes to your bigger, even estate homes. And so what communities of late have kind of wanted to do is, if you're a starter, getting into a starter home with your smaller family, or it's just a couple, and you fall in love with the community and now the family's growing, you don't have to leave. You can just move up into a bigger product. Or if you're downsizing, then you can stay. So you have a lot of diversity with most of the communities. And yes, a lot of commercial. You'll have even smaller shops, smaller like convenience store maybe, just within the community, because we all like to be able to walk to these different businesses and whatnot. So we wanted to close with a little bit of a tip that we realized that not a lot of people are aware of.
And that would be leasebacks. So what that is you find a show home, and preferably one that's brand new, in a brand new development, and you would buy it off the builder, and they would lease it back to you. So you would be the landlord to the builder. And what's great about this is that show homes are just gently used. You know, there's nobody living there. Right. They have weekly cleaners come in. You know, they have maintenance. That, you know, they want to make sure that product shows pristine. So they're going to really maintain that home. And, you know, if you're in a brand new community, that could mean that they're going to be using that show home till they sell out of their inventory, which could be a couple years, 3 years maybe. So that's a really good investment.
Yeah, so they're basically a guaranteed tenant for you, and they will always pay on time. They pay I believe you just pay the property taxes, but they'll pay all the utilities, etc. I believe even the insurance, but that could vary from builder to builder. So Maria and I do know of the builders that participate in doing leasebacks, so that is information absolutely that we can share. And sometimes it really just means going through their list of homes, seeing which ones just popped up, taking a look at the price, possibly negotiating the price, and then the builders will have this, here's the amount, we'll lease it back. Generally it's pretty fair.
Yes.
So again, if you are looking to invest in something, invest in a new show home that you can have for a few years, and then once the builder is done using it as a sales center, they convert your garage back into a regular garage, and then it's yours to either move into, find another renter, or sell. Yeah, so just something that we don't think a lot of people are aware of. If it is something that you're considering, then give us a call. So thanks for watching again. Give us a call, reach out if you had any questions about new home sales, if you want to go for a coffee or a beer, whichever. So my name's Joanne. You can contact me at 780-999-4415.
And my name is Maria, and you can contact me at 780-232-9231.
Thank you. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.